Flame-dancing Spirit, come. Sweep us off our feet and dance us through our days. Surprise us with your rhythms. Dare us to try new steps, explore new patterns and new partnerships. Release us from old routines to swing in abandoned joy and fearful adventure. And in the intervals, rest us in your still center. Words of Janet Morley. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Cross Street Chapel on what is, I think, very much a Mancunian morning. There's something reassuring, I think, about having the rain sort of return to us. I've enjoyed the sunshine. I absolutely love it, but there's just a sense of home and recognition, familiarity, certainly for myself. I hope for yourselves as well. And I'm grateful that you managed to make it here to your spiritual home today. Whatever it is that's brought you into this space, it could be some time for celebration and joy. Might be a few sort of points of sorrow that you have in your heart. Maybe you've come looking for some words of wisdom or a chance to connect with one another or to rest with the divine, to have what Janet Morley describes as that still center wherein we can rest. Whatever it is that you seek here, I hope you'll find it, and I know that you'll find a warm community. I also think it's absolutely gorgeous. The rains, I suppose, works really well because we had our flower communion last Sunday, and it's always lovely, I think, for the next several weeks to just have the chapel continuously filled with flowers of all different varieties, and that's just a brilliant, I think, some brilliant color in what is obviously an otherwise gray day for us. So let us come a bit closer and deeper into worship with these words of David Johnson. The abundance of this place, the faith of its people, its songs of compassion and joy, will be wholeness and wisdom and indwelling light, that all may find here a constant home light in a world full of trouble and fear. So may we have those words of insight, those songs of compassion and joy. And let us begin with a song, turning to the Green Book, number 3, Dean Starr's We Sing the Joy of Living, We Sing the Mystery, hymn number 3.
Knowledge forever so high.
Let us turn now to a time of prayer with these words of Reverend Erica Hewitt. This is then followed by our covenant, which is printed in your order of worship and will appear online. But first, these words. As we enter into worship, put away the pressures of the world that asks us to perform, to take up masks, to put on brave fronts. Silence the voices that ask you to be perfect. This is a community of compassion and welcoming. You do not have to do anything to earn the love contained within these walls. You do not have to be braver, smarter, stronger, better than you are in this moment to belong here. You only have to bring the gift of your body, no matter how able your seeking mind, no matter how busy your animal heart, no matter how broken. Bring all that you are and all that you love to this hour together. Amen. We gather here in sacred fellowship to witness the fullness of our lives and all life, to hold and be held our stories endlessly, to be renewed and renew the world. We speak with care and patience. We act with gentleness and compassion. We forgive each other and ourselves. In faith that we build beloved community, we renew our covenant today. I thought I would shake things up and do the IT today, so no offense to anyone who's on the roster who's done it before. I'm aware that we, especially with the flower communion and with events, people are doing there's people who have a lot of hats on at the moment. I didn't want to ask sort of too many people to do too many things, and it gives me a chance to acquaint myself with it and to get a feel. Anyway, so our story today, Gina Kaminsky Saves the Wolf, is a wonderful story about a little girl, which you'll hear in a moment. Gina attends a school which obviously takes very special care and emotional care of their students. She has a card which sort of looks a little bit like this. You can see has these sort of smiley faces on them. And throughout the book, she talks about her feelings. And she says that her feelings, that she feels like, and then there'll be a picture of a smiley face. So rather than trying to figure out what that word might be, I'm going to try and recreate the face as I see it here. It's very important you don't laugh. And whatever you do, do not laugh, no matter how goofy the face looks. Anyway, so this is Gina Kaminsky at her school. School is rubbish today. There are 3 reasons why. 1, the classroom is too hot. 2, the classroom is too smelly. 3, the worst of all, the classroom is too loud. I go to the reading room with Anya. The reading room is not too hot, not too smelly, or too loud. Anya says she will read to me and gives me a choice between 2 books. One book, if you can see, is called The Big Book of Wolves. And the second book is called Little Red Riding Hood. Choosing is on you for not laughing. So Anya picks Little Red Riding Hood. And this is what happens in the story. 1, Little Red Riding Hood's mom gives her a cake to bring to Granny. 2, Little Red Riding Hood takes a shortcut through the dangerous woods and meets a talking wolf. 3, the wolf eats Granny and gets into her bed. But the woodcutter arrives with an axe and it's a bad ending for the wolf. Using my chart, the ending is That girl and the wolf make 3 big mistakes, I say. Tell me more, says Anya. Then I have a great idea. I'll visit fairy tale land, fix the big mistakes, and save the wolf myself. But first I have to prepare. These are my must-have things for every journey. A backpack that holds stuff. Hat. I will not wear a Red Riding Hood because it looks itchy. Snacks. Today I have red sticks. And Lady Wiggles for times that need Lady Wiggles. If you can see, Lady Wiggles is her teddy bear. Now, I'm ready. This looks like the place. That looks like the mum. And that looks like the cake. There you are. Now take the cake to Granny and put on this Red Riding Hood. And don't take the path through the woods. And if you see a wolf, a woodcutter with an axe will be able to rescue you. You'll know he is close when you hear his loud horn. Well, that's too many orders all at once. The mum makes me feel... Heard a laugh? So we're on to the mistakes. Mistake 1, the cake. This is an easy mistake to fix. Cakes are delicious. Little Red Riding Hood should eat the cake, so that is what I do. Okay, on to Granny's house. Mistake 2, the shortcut. No shortcuts through the woods. Read the sign. Dangerous woods, do not enter. I'm sticking to the road. But the wolf is following me. This is not good. It's not time for the wolf yet. Don't worry, I know what to do. Wolves are like dogs, and dogs love sticks. Breadsticks are sticks. Problem solved. See, this is why you must always prepare. Now, I'd better get to Granny's house before the wolf does. Now, here we go. That looks like Granny, but I need to check. People can be tricky. Are you the Granny? I ask. Yes, dear. And you are little Red Riding Hood. No, I am Gina Kaminsky, I say. Granny makes a face like. These are the facts, I say. There was a cake and I ate it. A wolf is coming to your house. It will want to eat you. That's just nature. A woodcutter will arrive with an axe and there will be a bad ending. Oh my, says Granny. And there's the wolf. So mistake 3, the wolf. I see you, wolf, I say. What are you doing here already? Asks the wolf. I'm here to save you, I say. A woodcutter is coming with an axe and it all ends badly for you. But I have a plan. I'm listening, says the wolf. In the reading room at my school, the big book of wolves is on the shelf, I say. If you dig down right here, you can hop or straight into it. Great idea, says the wolf. And this is when a horn blasts. It is the most horrible noise. It makes me feel, ooh. Get digging, wolf. Behold, the big, strong woodcutter is here, says the man. I have come to save you from the wolf. The wolf is gone, I say. And by the way, that sound you make is too loud, and that axe is too dangerous. He gives me a look that isn't on the chart. Who are you, strange traveler, he says. I am Gina Kaminsky. I fix mistakes. Now it's time to leave. When I get back to the reading room, Anya says, Gina, do you still want to talk about the 3 mistakes? No, I sorted them, and I got cake, I say. Well, that's good. Shall we go back to the classroom? Anya asks. I take the big book of wolves with me. The afternoon is not rubbish. I saved the wolf. I even managed to visit him in the big book. Using my chart, I am feeling like this. Jana Kaminsky Saves the Wolf by Craig Barr Green and Francis Martin. So you have a chance to share your lives and your stories, wolves or otherwise. If you have a joy or sorrow, a trial or a triumph, and you wish to light a candle, please do so. If you have some words please, to say, please come to the microphone so those who are using the loop system will be able to hear. You can, of course, light a candle in silence if you wish. And as always, if you want to remain seated, know that your presence here is enough. Nothing else is asked of you at this moment. If you are online, please type into the chat box. We will read your message out. So I lit a candle on Wednesday, but I'll light one again today for two people, two recent bereavements we've had in the Unitarian world. One is the Reverend Richard Bokey, who I like to consider a friend and colleague, and as well Dawn Buckle, who was a member over in Duckenfield. But she was also, when I started here, she was a member of our building trustees and was a great support, particularly for ministerial students over the years. For all those joys and sorrows here spoken, and those that remain silently in our hearts. We come now to our next hymn, which is printed in your order of worship, Blessed Spirit of My Life by Shelley Jackson Denham. Our second reading today comes from the Persian poet Bibi Hayati, titled Before There Was a Trace, and this translation is by Aliki Barnstone. Before there was a hint of civilization, I carried a memory of your loose strand of hair. Oblivious, I carried inside me your pointed tip of hair. In its invisible realm, your face of sun yearned for epiphany until each distinct thing was thrown into sight. From the first instant time took a breath, your love lay in the soul, a treasure in the secret chest in the heart. Before the first seed shot up out of the rosebed of the possible, the soul's lark took wing high above your meadow, flying home to you. I thank you 100 times. In the altar of Hayati's eyes, your face shines forever present and beautiful. And let us return to a time of prayer with these words of Elizabeth Fayers. O Divine Spirit, help us to accept that none of us is perfect, that we all can make mistakes. Help us to see that when we get angry or push for our own rights, we may be hurting others. Help all people to see the good in others and to recognize that we are all human beings. Help us to accept our differences and glory in our similarities. Help us today to take our first steps. May we all smile at a neighbor and talk to a stranger. May we understand that it is more important to share our time than our possessions. With these first steps, we will help peace within communities and then peace between communities to grow. Because only with understanding and love can we hope for peace to spread across the world. Amen. And so let us enter into a period of silence for reflection, meditation, contemplation, and personal prayer. Thank you, Karen. Let us turn now to our next hymn, again in the Green Book, number 52, Sophia Leon Faz's Divinity is Round Us, Never Gone from Earth or Star, hymn number 52.
Divinity is round us, never gone from
Do you ever lose things? I hope so. It sounds not obviously. I don't necessarily hope that you lose things, but I just want a certain assurance that I'm not unique in this capacity. I hope you lose things because I lose things, and I hope that I am not alone. I hope we all lose things. Anyway, when you lose something, an object, a thought, a word, for instance, how hard do you try to remember it, to recall where it is, to remember what it was? Think about all the logical places it might be. And again, I hope that I'm not alone in this, but do you find sometimes that the more you try to think about something, the more lost it seems? You want to share a funny anecdote, but the more you try to remember it precisely, the less clear it is. You know that word is just on the tip of your tongue, and yet the more intense you concentrate on it, the further back it appears. Some studies have shown that an intense mental focus actually prevents us from recalling the objects we need, like trying to remember that word. The harder we try to force ourselves to remember it, the harder it is to remember. We have to try and allow it to exist on the periphery and just let it sort of float into our consciousness. I felt this very acutely recently. I think it's a combination of late nights and early mornings, a return to the baby brain that I experienced 7 years ago when Thomas was very little. His sleep patterns have been a bit disruptive as of recent, and that has impacted, I find, my cognition to one degree or another. And hence why I perhaps have chosen a few words and readings that emphasize mistakes and our humanness, our need for kindness, that we have to be kind to ourselves, to our bodies, to our disposition, to our minds. In general, this could be an issue, a me issue in regards to my aging, as I'm becoming more aware of my body's tiredness, its aches and pains, a lack of focus. As you see, I've digressed from the topic I was going to talk about, which was kindness, trying to put words that, like love, cannot exist without some form of action. We know kindness because we witness it in others and hopefully in ourselves. It's not enough to simply say, I am a kind person. We have to make sure that we're actually exhibiting that quality. To truly assess our actions, to correct them, to be that person that we want to be is important. A task forgotten happens, but to allow these words without their corresponding duties is a grave mistake. So as I was reflecting on kindness and the actions that correspond with it, I finally spotted what had been hidden in plain sight. Kindness is the quality of being kind. But kind carries other meanings with it. Not just as in gentle or generous or patient or accepting, but also as a group. Kind as in kindred, as in humankind. So the quality of being kind may encompass the way that we treat others that we consider one of us, one of our kind. When we see people acting generous and caring and compassionate, it's as though they are saying to another person, you are me and I am you. Saying we are of the same kind. A kindred spirit is one with whom we share a familiarity. As in we place within, again, familiarity, we place within our family. The family in our mind, those we connect with on a spiritual level, may or may not be our relations. For those we consider family that we cannot help but showing them love and care. For that is what it means to consider them family. Showing them kindness. So the question then is, how far does this kindness extend? How large is our family? Jesus quipped, if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your siblings, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? We speak of different classes, different politics, and different races, but we are all the same. We are all part of humankind. We speak of different animals, different plants, different rocks, constantly invoking this, we are different, we are different, we are different. But really, we are all kindred in the universe, sharing the same sun and being made of the same stardust. Reflecting on all this brought to mind Nancy Eiseland's The Disabled God. It's a fantastic book on what's called disability theology. Disability theology is quite remarkable in many ways. It gives a voice back to a group long dispossessed of it for millennia within culture. Disabled people occupied those extremes of saint and sinner, but not by their choice. Often painted as individuals ripe for miracles, individuals who carried on against all odds, or in the case of Richard III, one whose inner character is manifested in their physical appearance. Disability theology allows individuals the opportunity to claim their humanness, to exist alongside others with no less dignity, no less imperfection. This summary, of course, does poor justice to hidden disabilities, but let me just say that with this dignity is one's autonomy as well. They're choosing to express themselves to others. One area that disability theology truly speaks well on is the notion of incarnation, the indwelling spirit, the via anima, a divine presence within us. However we want to describe it, the relationship between the body and its driving force. Able-bodied individuals may forget this incarnation, as the challenges of daily living are not hard-pressed upon the physicality that they possess. Individuals with impairments may recognize their incarnation, perhaps not considering it divine if it brings a great deal of pain, but nevertheless the friction of existence becomes apparent. From this, we gain a perspective on our relationship with technology in the world. The use of prosthetics, for example. For some individuals, a prosthetic leg is just as much a part of their body as the flesh in other areas. So the relationship extends beyond what we might traditionally consider our body. There is a freeing quality that the legless individual actually possesses, a superior body in a way. This is important because it highlights the reach of our power. We might think of disability as a problem for the individual who we, by our measures, would call disabled. However, others describe disability as a social construct, that is, through the choices of society that enables some but limits others. If we were all 10 feet tall, our doorways would be disabling. So there are moves to ensure that the infrastructure accommodates as many individuals as possible. Or there's a desire to ensure that no one is disabled by society. I return to the reach of our power. We can create this in our society. It just requires our imagination and energy. Reflect on words by André Gides that true kindness presupposes the faculty of imagination. Witnessing and drawing upon the pain of others, we can envision a world that treats the disabled more kindly, that enables them, that values their character and contributions more fully. I keep returning to that phrase, true kindness presupposes the faculty of imagination. We do not know the challenges that others face. We do not know how life or society limits them. It's hard enough to explain our own actions, let alone in others. So there is a great deal we do not know. We do know, however, that we are all of the same stuff. We are all kindred souls, kindred bodies, sharing a planet. Amen. A few announcements printed in the back of your order of worship. We have a communion afterwards. I don't think that is in the order of worship, but it's. But after we will For those unfamiliar, our communion here is open to everyone. It's not required of anyone. So if you wish to participate, please do so. Many people choose to just to sit and witness it as well, so that's an option. We'll get more into the actual sort of specific details afterwards. So after the service finishes, during Aaron's postlude, we'll prepare the chapel for that. People, of course, can go to the tea and coffee as well if they wish. Is anyone willing to help out with tea and coffee today? Thank you, Carl. I don't seem to have my order of worship here, so thank you. So we have our Friday lunchtime recital coming up on the 22nd. We had a fantastic one this past Friday when Aaron stepped in at the last minute and delivered a spectacular performance. We're really grateful for him, and we're really grateful for the piano duo that we're going to hear at the end of this month. So that's always the last Friday at 1 p.m. Our recitals are free, but we are grateful for contributions which go to the artists to recognize their time, talent, and energy. It's the 25th, and 22nd is our chapel anniversary service, and then you can see some upcoming dates for July as well. If you aren't yet, you can join the chapel's mailing list by writing to me. We're also grateful for any financial contributions that assist the mission of our chapel. You can donate at tinyurl.com/chapel-donate, or you can write to me or speak with me about setting up a standing order, and there's a retiring collection here in person, along with envelopes if you're a UK taxpayer. Are there any announcements or notices from the congregation? Yes, Joe.
I have been deputized to point out we have a little outing to bury on Saturday. Bury Pride.
Thank you. So this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the 7th, Bury Pride. Do join us if you wish. It's going to be spectacular. And we're great friends with Reverend Kate and the Bury Unitarians. So that's the 7th. Any other announcements or notices from the congregation? Let us then sing our final hymn again in the Green Book, number 173, The Fellowship of the Church by John Andrew Story. Hymn number 173. Music. Thank you, Carl, for the tea and coffee we're about to enjoy. And thank you, Sonia, for helping to set up, along with Joe, and for the flowers, which have been so beautiful today. Thank you to everyone for creating and sharing worship today. We close with these words of Dostoevsky. Love all creation, the whole of it and every grain of sand. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love the animals, love the plants. Love everything. If you love everything, you will perceive the divine mystery in things. And once you have perceived it, you will begin to comprehend it ceaselessly, more and more every day. And you will at last come to love the whole world with an abiding, universal love. Amen.